on behalf of SMUCE, I wish to acknowledge the people of the Kulin Nations on whose land we are gathered today and recognize their continuing connection to land, waters, and culture. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another industry panel with SMUCE, which is the Society of Monash University Chemical Engineers. And today we have Wood. Now Wood's a very big company of ours, but we managed to get in contact. And from Wood, we have Sandra and Aqua, as well as Megan, as well as Alex from Wood. So, off to you guys.
Right. Thank you, Vidal. Yeah, my name is Sandra Tossi. I'm the Graduate Talent Acquisition Lead for Wood in Australia. And I might get the other guys to introduce themselves as well. Alex, maybe start with you.
Yep. Hi guys, my name is Alex. I'm a graduate process engineer here at Wood. I started in February 2019 and I graduated from Monash as well, so I know a bit about SMUCE.
Beautiful.
Okay, thanks, Alex. Megan, how about you?
Hi, my name's Megan. I started here with Wood in February 2020. I graduated with my degree in chemical engineering from the University of Western Australia.
Thanks, Megan. And Akbar.
So my name is Akbar Ali. Do you want to know which university I went to? No, probably not. I look after process engineering for Wood here in Western Australia now. Been in various roles with Wood, with various good companies over the years, longer than the case of thing. Suffice to say, when you ask the question, and I'll just do that to ask the question, yes, I've been working longer than most of you have been around.
Yeah, thanks for that introduction. Sandra has got an informative presentation for us. Let's go with it. Sandra?
Okay, perfect. All right, great. Thank you. Thanks for having us. We're really happy to be here, and hopefully you'll get something out of our quick information session here this afternoon. So this is what we'll go through. So we've done, obviously we've gone through the introductions already. I'll talk through a bit about the organisation, values, vision, industry sectors where we work, what our part is or what role we play in the energy transition, which is all very topical at the moment. And then I'll talk a little bit about our vacation and graduate programs, how they work, and kind of like, the typical application, open dates, etc., and things that we look for as well when we're selecting for those roles. So, I guess let's start off with the most important thing here at Wood, and that is safety. Safety is always top of mind for us, and everything we do is always revolves around safety, and profit never comes ahead of safety. And just one of the many things that we do to reinforce safety in the organisation is that every meeting we have, we start with what we call a safety moment. And what a safety moment is basically a very short story about in relation to safety. It can be work related, or it can be sort of home or private related as well. So, and that's just to keep health and safety, or specifically safety, top of mind every time. So we're really big on that. We're really big on intervening as well. So if an employee sees a colleague doing something wrong, they'll sort of pull them up in a very kind of nice, respectful way. Just so to make sure that obviously, if they didn't kind of pull them up, they may get injured. So we're very, very big on that. And if any of you guys start to work at Wood, you'll find out how seriously we take safety. A little bit about conduct as well and business ethics. You can read there what's on the screen. And again, with this, what every employee does at Wood, every 12 months, we do an online refresher training on business ethics. With quizzes at the end of the online training as well, just to make sure that you do understand what is the correct procedure and what is wrong and what you cannot do. And in support of that, we have a hotline as well where people can report, I guess, instances where they see something that it doesn't appear quite right, and they can call it in, and it's anonymous as well, and that'll go into a database where it's then followed up by people within the business ethics team. In a nutshell, that is our purpose there. So, global leader in delivery, project management, engineering, consulting, and technical service to energy and built environment. So, obviously, we are not an operator. We are a consultancy contractor, that type of thing, and we work for organisations. So we do a lot of their project engineering, engineering in general, project management, and things of that nature. So that's what we do in a very short sentence. Our values, we have 3 values now. So we used to have 7, and no one could ever remember them. So now we've got 3, and they're very clear because they all start with C as well. So I think they're very, and this makes it, I guess, very consistent in how we deliver all our projects, all our services, and what we expect, I guess, from the employees of the organisation on how they should be behaving as well. So there are our 3: care. So working safely with integrity, respecting and valuing each other and our communities. Commitment, consistently delivering to all our stakeholders, and that also stakeholder includes employees. And courage, pushing the boundaries to create smarter, more sustainable solutions as well. So there are values, nice and clear and short and succinct. This is our vision. So partnering with agility, inspire with ingenuity, and creating new possibilities. And that's what we really kind of strive to do. And we are getting there, and we are displaying these sorts of attributes as well as we go along. Just looking at by the numbers, as the slide says, so we're operating in over 60 countries globally. That's our revenue, as you can see up there, and we have combined with the history of the organisation, because there's been so many acquisitions, de-acquisitions, divestments, and all sorts of things, but combined, we have over 160 years worth of experience. So, we have the organisation is sort of structured in a way where we're quite happy just to do something very simple, like replace a handrail, to designing a whole new asset for a client from the ground up. So we're flexible in that way, where we have the size and the scale to do those sorts of things. So that's the kind of, I guess, the size and scale of the organisation as you see it there. Looking at our global footprint, the darker grey, the areas, the countries where we work in globally. So we have over, as it says there, 400 offices worldwide, and we have a very, very wide global footprint. And we've got, we operate at every extreme, and we can really draw from our experience of working in really harsh climates. We work in places where it's, plus 50, to other places where it's like negative 50. Also, a lot of we have experience in working in remote locations, from also deep waters as well, especially Gulf of Mexico, where they have the deepest waters in the world. And we really do kind of understand, complex requirements of local regulators and the different cultures as well. Even within the Asia Pacific region, there's many different cultures where people really need to be, I guess, really culturally aware. One day you might be working in Australia. Next, you might be working on a project in Brunei, Thailand, Timor, wherever it might be. So we have experience in all that. So I guess the way that the business is structured is that it's organised for global support, but with local delivery is, I guess, essentially the way that we've structured the organisation. And I'll show you later on the kind of projects and the customers we have in the Asia Pacific region, which is obviously where we are located. So that's a global footprint. So here are the sectors that we work in globally. I'm not saying these are all the sectors that we work in Australia, but globally, these are all the sectors that we work in. In Australia, we work in infrastructure and in particular water. So here we have a contract with Melbourne Water here, and also another water contract with Southeast Queensland Water. So we have those two. Industrial and manufacturing as well. Here we do some work in the life sciences area, and what that is basically in pharmaceuticals. So we work in the pharmaceutical sector here in Melbourne. And We don't do a lot of government, not in Australia, none at all actually. Mining we do. So over where Megan and Akbar are, we have quite a few mining projects and contracts over there with clients.
Lithium.
Akbar, you saying something?
Yeah, lithium. We're doing quite a lot of lithium projects there.
Yeah, a lithium mine we're working on. That's right, over in WA. Yep, thank you very much for that. We're in power. We're not doing a hell of a lot there, but we are. I can talk a little bit about that in a minute. And oil and gas, we definitely are in oil and gas here in Australia. That's for sure. So that's so quite, as you can see, quite wide range of industry sectors that we work in.
Yeah, the automotive. I think our division here in consultancy division here in Perth, it's all involved with Tesla programming their robots and things.
Oh, we're working with Tesla. Okay, right. So there you go. I didn't know that.
Jaguar, I think, as well, and a few other companies.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Thank you, Akbar. I knew there's a reason why I invited you. Fantastic. Okay, these are some of the services. If on a page, I guess, the services that we provide. So I guess starting from the front end engineering and design, that's feed. So I remember that bit, Akbar. You'd be very pleased, proud of me.
Yes,
Thank you. Going through detailed design, you can see there, construction, commissioning, operations at the end, hand over the key, start it up kind of thing. More of the work, a lot of work that we're getting into now too also is decommissioning, especially in the North Sea in the UK, and also it's starting to happen here as well in Victoria in Bass Strait, with one of our clients there being ExxonMobil, where a lot of their assets out there in the middle of Bass Strait are, I don't know, some of them are 30, 40 years old, and they've reached the end of their life probably 2 times over. So there's some work coming on there for us to decommission those offshore assets for ExxonMobil in Bass Strait. And that's not a simple matter of pulling up with a barge and put a rope around it and pulling it into the ocean, right? There's a lot involved in decommissioning, especially an offshore asset in the middle of the ocean. So that's on a page, the services that we would provide to a client. With energy transition, so we are doing some, so you can read here on the screen, so we are helping our customers navigate towards a sustainable energy future through operations, low carbon production systems, and pioneering renewable projects. So we are getting into that, and I'll show you the projects that we are doing globally, and also even in Australia. And Akbar, you can jump in here if I've missed anything. We're starting to really see our clients understand the energy transition and wanting to really be smarter about this as well. So a couple of things that we've done in Australia is that we've done some decarbonisation work with Santos in Queensland. We've worked on a hydrogen project down in Hastings in Western Port Bay here in Victoria for an organisation called Icon. And also, I was told today that we're looking at a project with Ampol, a hydrogen project with Ampol, used to be Caltex, down in Tasmania as well. So, and we do have also a dedicated team in Australia looking at renewable projects that maybe where they're looking at those to see which ones we believe, or they believe, the team believes, that Wood can actually deliver on. So there's a dedicated team looking at that. And then the ones that they pinpoint say, okay, we can do this, we'll put in a bid and to commence work on those. Hopefully we'll get the gig and we can commence work on those renewals. Yeah. So we're doing it's a slow burn, but we're getting there. These are some of the globally, some of the things that we've got going on in renewable energy. So with wind, there's some facts and figures there, as you can see. So we worked on so the projects that we worked on represent something like 20% of global wind power. So that's a lot. That's a big number, 20%. And we worked on over 685 projects, as you can see there, of which 135 plus are offshore wind. So we've got a fair bit global experience on offshore wind. So that's a big thing. That's a big thing for us as well. The largest offshore wind farm as well. We worked on that one there, and that's in the North Sea in the UK. It's called Dogger Bank. If you're interested, have a look at it. That's that one. And Europe's largest wind farm, that one there it's in Sweden. So we worked on that one as well. And you can see some numbers there. I won't go through all those and bore you to tears, but you can see some impressive numbers there on wind. And moving across over to solar, we can see over here some contracts or projects that we've done as well. And we've got a lot going on there as well. So, around about, 1,000 plus projects that we worked on, in solar energy. And there's a fair bit of work going on there. So, and we worked on, the UK's largest solar PV project as well. So, and Egypt's largest solar PV plant. So we've got, again, a lot of global experience in solar. Carbon capture as well. You can see some data there. We've got quite a few things going on and projects that we worked on as well on carbon capture. And that's also one that we're growing as well into that space there. And hydrogen. And I've spoken already about a couple of the hydrogen projects here in Australia. So that's we're slowly getting into renewables here in Australia and convincing our clients that's the way to go, because sometimes you need to educate clients. And we figure that's part of our role as well, to educate a client on the best way forward. And so that's, we're getting there. We're getting there with the solar, but we have a lot of global experience to draw upon.
Absolutely.
This is the APAC region. And the APAC region goes from Kazakhstan, as you can see on this screen, all the way across to New Zealand. So that's the region that we're a part of. And I've got on the screen here, they're all the contracts, all the clients that we have in the region that we work for. And the regional headcount is around about 4,000 people in the APAC region for wood. So there's, as you said, there's quite a bit going on there. New to this, we just had a recent reorganisation, and new to the region, Kazakhstan, and the other one new to the region, who was previously in the region but then reshuffled out, now back in, is Sakhalin Energy. And Sakhalin Energy is that red dot up the top right, which is basically, that's part of the Russian Federation, and it's off the east coast of Russia, north of Japan, up there. So I was there a couple of years ago delivering some training. So that's one of the places where it gets to the negative 50 bit that I was talking about earlier on. So that was interesting though. I really did enjoy it. All right, so that's a bit about the organisation. So hopefully that gave you a bit of a flavour of what we do, where we do it, how we do it, kind of thing. Yep. And now I'll move on to our grad and vacation vac work that we do here as well. So I can talk about this. Okay, so this is what you would expect if you happen to get a graduate role at Wood. So being stretched is meaning that we won't have you sitting in a corner reading a manual or looking at websites for the first 2 months. And I'm sure Alex and Megan can attest to this, that we get them to work pretty much on real projects from day one. Career development opportunities, different services, countries, sectors. Sure, you won't work in different countries in the first few years because you need to obviously bed down your experience, your knowledge. However, later on, there's countless opportunities available as well to do that if you want to. Learn and develop, set you up for success. We have a lot of learning and development on personal development type training that we run. And I can talk about that a little bit later. We have a global early careers network called Developing Professionals Network. And what that is basically the graduate cohorts globally. There's a global network, but then each country has a chapter. And they organise events, whether it be social events, whether it be learning and development type events, fundraising events, whatever it might be. And it's led by a graduate committee with a few senior managers there, and they run that type of thing throughout Australia. We've recently also launched those DPN networks in India, Thailand, and Singapore as well. So they're all up and running. So good little network in the region, which is really cool. Salary and benefits, that's all okay. And be part of an organisation really that cares about our people, clients, and also importantly about the communities where we work as well, which is really important to us. So some of our graduates, got some asked them to say a few words, and the one on the right hand side is Sandra. Now, Sandra also attended Monash University, and she also studied chemical engineering. Sandra is now in Perth, and when she first started with us in Melbourne, she didn't actually start as a chemical engineer or a process engineer like Alex and Megan. However, her graduate job or role was in business development. So because she didn't really want to pursue a technical career, and so she has a double degree of commerce as well. And now she's moved on to actual other roles, but still not technical. And she's moved over to Perth. So she's over with Akbar and Megan. So possibilities are endless depending on what you want to do. If you really want something, most times you can get it. So that's Sandra. She's really shining here. Okay, with our graduate program, ours goes over a 2-year period. This is no surprises here. We have a buddy. So usually a buddy is a second-year graduate that we assign to a new grad coming in. Okay. And what I normally do is I ask that buddy to contact the new graduate the week before they start, just to introduce themselves, and then the buddy usually comes to induction as well. So at least the new grad has someone, a familiar, not face, but a name at least. We have a regional mentoring scheme. So what I mean by regional is that now you can select mentors from anywhere in the region, in the APAC region. So it doesn't have to be in Australia. It could be Kazakhstan, could be Brunei, could be wherever. So we've kicked off the regional version of that this year, but we've always had a mentoring scheme in Australia. We support becoming chartered through either Engineers Australia or IChemE. So one of the two. We support that. With learning and development, we also offer a certificate in project management. So with our 2-year program, not usually, but most of the times, you would start your Cert 4 in your second year. We have a external provider does that. There's a lot of face-to-face stuff and also some online modules that you complete, and then you get to your certificate in project management. We have the short courses as well. And also this year, what I've done is I've started with our weekly early careers webinars. So we ran, and Megan actually co-facilitates some with me as well. So this year we ran 17 of those, and these are for the region as well. So we'll have people from all parts of the region attending the webinar. And we had something like in total 1,400 people attend across those 17 webinars. So that was really good. We thought that was a really good success. Rotations. With rotations, we can't do a type of musical chairs type rotation where every 6 months everyone moves around kind of thing, only because of the work we do and the kind of project sort of based work that we do. We can't do it that kind of regimented, but we do try to give people exposure at least to different projects and different clients, so they get an understanding how different clients work and what their expectations are. So that's the best we can do with that. We have team building. That usually goes with the Developing Professionals Network. They do a lot of that work. And I spoke about that, the networking activities, DPN, developing professionals network. That's what they do. So that's really the graduate program on one slide. That's what it looks like here at Wood. Some of just the timeline, I guess. Typically, this is what it's going to look like for next year. So this is in relation to a 2022 intake. I can't believe we're already talking that far ahead, but there you go. So apart from the normal stuff at the very beginning, applications opening and closing, we usually then follow that up by a video interview. So if you shortlist the next stage, so this is a recorded video interview. I'm not sure if you guys have done one of those.
Yeah. It's quite a new experience, isn't it?
Yeah, we've been doing it for quite a few years now, but yeah, a lot more organisations actually now jumping on. But we've been doing this for, I can't remember, 4 or 5 years maybe, something like that.
Okay.
So we do that, and then from there, we get the hiring managers to look at those recorded video interviews, and we ask them to select a number of people that they believe should be going through to an assessment centre. Then we run the assessment centre. Then from there, we again shortlist. Some will go through then to a face-to-face interview, and then we'll make an offer. Next year, I'm looking at also the possibility, depending on funding, to introduce psychometric testing, and we're probably using a product that's been developed by Rebellion, is one of the companies that we'll be using one of their products. But yeah, still looking at that part of it there. We'll see how we go. And vacation, so for next summer, not this summer, that's what it looks like there. Very similar to the graduate program recruitment the process. However, we just really only have, after applications, we just have the video interviews. We don't do psychometric testing. We don't do assessment centres. And then straight through to interviews, offer, and then the person start with us over that December, February period. So this is a question we always get asked when we go to, especially career fairs, and we're doing a lot of online stuff this year, is what do you guys look for? So I thought I'd put up straight up from the very top is that we just don't look for fantastic scores.
Yeah.
Sure, we do, but that's not the one and only decider to get through to the next stage. They're the things that we also believe are really important. So enthusiasm, commitment, creative thinking as well are equally important as great academic performance. To sum it up, I guess, they're the things. If you can show that, enthusiasm, energy, and curiosity, you're kind of in. Because the rest we can teach. It's hard to correct a behaviour that's not quite sort of lines up to what our expectations are. So if you can display that, you're kind of halfway there, really. And then the rest is really up to you to convince us when you come to an interview. I just finish up with this slide here. Although it might look humorous, and it is to a degree, I guess. But they're the things, I guess, as well that we really do expect from people. That really, as it says there, requires zero talent. Things being on time, work ethic, effort, energy, body language, passion, doing extra, being prepared, being coachable, the right attitude. So they're, in a nutshell, we believe they're the sorts of things as well that we think that are really important when we get to the hiring process. And that's it, guys, as far as the actual formal presentation is concerned. Hopefully that was something that's what you expected, and you got something out of that one there. And it gives you a better understanding of both the organisation and how our graduate and vacation programs work.